In this video, I want to talk about one of my greatest regrets in my career, and it's about a topic that is very debated in the world of athletics, in particular in baseball, and it's the concept of being a multi-sport athlete. Um, I definitely agree with the idea that you do need to be a multi-sport athlete for a long, long time. I think the more sports you can play from an early age, the better off you're going to be as an athlete and as a baseball player because you train different muscles, train different stimulus, you put your body in different challenging scenarios, and you have to learn to adapt to them. So I 100% agree that being a multi-sport athlete is very valuable, especially at an early age. My regret, though, comes from my sticking around with my second sport a little bit too long. So throughout my childhood, I played all the sports. I played baseball, I played basketball, I played football, I played hockey, I played soccer, all those things. By the time I got to middle school, I pretty much plugged myself in as I was a baseball and a basketball player because I'm 6'4", long, lanky, and I did really well at both sports. I was a very good athlete in both of those sports. But about the time that I got to about my sophomore year of high school, you see the writing on the wall. I'm not going to go play basketball past high school because I know that it's not my number one sport and it's not the sport that I have the most desire to be excel at or be the best at, I should say. And one of the things that I regret about it is that I played basketball all the way through high school. And now, some of you in the video are going watching this or in the comments are going to be like, "Oh, you have to be a multi-sport athlete. You have to be a multi-sport athlete." And I don't necessarily agree with that you have to be a multi-sport athlete all the way through high school because I feel that, what they always say about multi-sport athletes, the guys who are really good at, you know, or people who excel at their sports also played multiple sports. Like, was it that they played multiple sports that they got to the levels that they did, or was it that they were just really good athletes and they got to play and excel in all of these sports? So, like, what is was it a chicken before the egg type of thing, right? So, what I mean by that I regret it is that I should have at some point realized that basketball was not going to be my thing past high school, and I should have focused in on baseball because that was the one I was the most passionate about. That was the sport I was most passionate about. That was the one I took more time than anything to make sure that I was good at. And basketball cost me a lot of time and a lot of energy that I could have dedicated to being the best baseball player that I could have by also being the best basketball player that I was going to be, which wasn't very good. You can go find my stats somewhere on Max Preps. Horrible, horrible stats. But I gained a lot of experience. I have a lot of teammates that I still talk to. I had, great experiences playing basketball, and I'm never going to bemoan my experience playing basketball. But why I regret it, as I said before, it took away my time and my energy from playing baseball. And like, I wanted to be the best baseball player. And now I'm not going to encourage you or discourage you from being a multi-sport athlete or telling you have to quit the second sport you're playing. But I would recommend that once you kind of realize what the sport is that you want to excel at, and obviously for the purposes of this channel, it is baseball. Once you realize that baseball is the sport that you're going to go the furthest in, and it's going to be and is the one that you want to go the furthest in. I would always say right around the age of 16, right at the end of your sophomore year, it's probably the time that you drop that second sport, whatever it might be. So that way you can put more time and energy into the sport that you want to excel in, right? And if you spend more time, like once you've gotten to about 16 and you've played all these sports throughout your, childhood, when you were young, all the way through middle school and into high school, like if you played all these sports, it's fantastic. But at some point, you've got to determine to yourself, like if I want to play in college or I want to play professionally, you've got to spend more time working and practicing the sport that you want to be the best at and perfecting your ability at that sport. And I feel like that's something that looking back on it now, I should have done from an earlier age. And if I was able to put more time and energy into baseball, what could I have been? Right? If I was able to lock in my time and energy 100% behind baseball, could I have gotten more scholarship offers? Could I have gotten more playing time at some of the schools that I played at? Could I have found a way to play professionally? Who knows, right? There's a million variables that go into it, but I do think that not giving my full energy about the time I turned 16 when I got into my junior and senior year of high school and putting it fully into baseball definitely had an effect on how far I went. And like I said, I don't want you to take this as you have to quit your second sport. If you love playing your second sport, have at it. And if you're really good at it and it's something you maybe want to pursue, go for it. But one analogy that I'll give you that's something that happened very recently to an athlete in our facility that experienced this is that, he's going to play baseball at Virginia next year. He's a 2025 senior. He's going to go play at Virginia next year, and he's getting a lot of professional looks. But he's played basketball his entire life, and he's he's okay basketball player. He's not a starter on his varsity team. He's not a major contributor on his varsity team, but he plays. And it comes from a background that basketball is going to help you in conditioning, and it can. But like I said, if it's going to take away from your time and your energy from playing baseball, it doesn't help. So anyway, back to this kid, he's getting looked at by professional teams. He's getting looked at by all these Division I schools to play baseball. He's going to be one of the top players in the state of Colorado for his senior year. But one day they had a practice, or his school team was having a practice, and a scout from the New York Yankees came. And he played a game of pickup basketball against his basketball teammates. And as I understand the story, he went for a dunk in the pickup game, landed on his knee funky, and really hurt his knee. And while he was able to go through the practice, you could very visibly tell that he was in a lot of pain and a lot of discomfort. And because of that pain and discomfort, there's a possibility that he did not perform the way he wanted to in front of that Yankee scout. And put him in a position to get drafted very highly by the Yankees, or like I said, it maybe ruined an opportunity, or at least at best case, hindered what the scout thought about him. And so it goes back to my analogy. Like if I spent more of my time and energy into baseball, same thing with this kid. Gave up my basketball dreams and put my time and energy into the sport that I was going to go the furthest in, he could have been fresher for that practice with the Yankee scout and really, really impressed him. And, maybe he goes very highly in the draft because of how well he did in that practice or in that workout. So at the end of the day, it's one of those things that, if I can recommend when you should maybe give up your second sport, it's right around that sophomore year, 16-year-old range, because you've played enough sports and you have had enough exposure to those different stimulus and those different sports. But now it's time for you to give yourself about 2 years to really lock in, baseball specific strength, improve your mobility, improve your strength, improve your ability in your mechanics. That way your velocity goes up, your command goes up, your ability to harness all of your pitch types in your arsenal goes up, right? When you begin putting all your time and energy into those key areas, then you start excelling and becoming the player that you want to be. So that's my 2 cents. That's my biggest regret when I look back into what I could have done better in my high school career, and obviously leading into further down the line into my college careers as well. So if this is something that you identified with, please subscribe. I hope to see you guys in the next video.